Marriage of 20 years without sex. Hello? First of all, I don't write well in English, so I'm using an AI to translate. I hope it's not a problem. I've come to share my story to relieve myself a bit. I've been married for about 20 years, and I believed we had a marriage with perfect love, with its flaws, of course, but with love above all. For some reason, my wife was never very passionate, and one of our problems was that we had few sexual relations. She is affectionate with kisses, hugs, and showing affection, and we are always together since we are both very introverted. For years, I tried to approach her in every way. But I always faced rejections because she either didn't feel like it or it wasn't the right time. I even stopped offering her sex to see how far it would go, and a year passed before she initiated it. When she did, it was with joy, as if no time had passed, and honestly, seeing her so happy, I couldn't bring myself to say anything. Over the years, it became the norm, happening once a year. Naturally, I struggled, and I had to make many decisions. After insecurities, rejections, and more, I concluded that she is asexual. We spend the whole day together, and we don't go anywhere without each other. In this regard, we might seem a bit odd, but we are happy. From work to home, and we always go out together. The possibility of being with someone else was zero because she almost never left the house without me. Only if I told her I didn't feel like going out could she go out alone. I share all this to show the commitment, and, although sporadic sex could happen elsewhere, a relationship with another person is impossible for both of us. With all that explained, what recently happened has been bothering me, and I can't seem to get over it. During one of the Saturday walks we started taking, part of the route was along a nudist beach. And I began to notice that her eyes were wandering very noticeably to the guys on the beach. It's normal to some extent, it happens to me too, but it was very poorly concealed, probably because she doesn't usually do it. All of this, after a few months, made me think that if she has sexual desires, she is not truly asexual. And I didn't understand what was happening. One evening, after a tough week thinking about the issue, I told her that not having relations was affecting me a lot and taking a toll on me. It had been many years since I had said anything about it, about 10 years. Surprisingly, we started having weekly sex, starting with massages with oils. It was very pleasant, but suddenly, I became very worried because I didn't understand what had happened during all those previous years if we could easily have weekly sex. I confronted her with the idea that she must explain it to me, and after pressing her, she said that having sex caused her pain for days afterward, leading to her rejecting it. But has it been like this since we got married? I asked. And she said it had always been this way, from our first relations. But she doesn't know why she hasn't had problems in recent weeks. Suddenly, my world collapsed. I am her first partner, so she doesn't know if the problem is with her or not. But for me, my world has crumbled. It turns out she is also my first partner. And I understood that I had never had full sexual relations. At the time, I tried many things because I thought we had little sex because she didn't fully like how I did it, but it was even worse. She felt pain. And that's the story. She says she loves me and doesn't care about sex. She cries and tells me to please continue, that she can't do anything about the past but wants to continue however she can. In my case, I feel like a violator. Also, as I mentioned, she is my first partner, so I feel like I have been denied real relations without her telling me anything during these years. Then she told me that she sometimes reaches orgasm, but then the pain comes because I take too long. She never told me anything, nor did she hint at it. I never suspected anything. The worst part is that the last few weeks have gone very well. And I think it's because of the massage oil that ended up covering her whole body, reducing friction, and preventing her from experiencing pain. So simple, and she never told me anything. We've been like this for 20 years because she didn't want to say anything. What kind of person gives up on sex without trying anything, never explaining the pains or what she liked more or less? I think she held sex as something very special and was ashamed. On my part, I feel deceived. All my memories with her are crumbling. All these years without sex are because she didn't have the confidence to tell me what was happening, and furthermore, what I enjoyed, she suffered. All because she didn't dare to simply talk about it. It's crazy. What kind of trust does she have in me? Is it like this in some other aspect? How am I going to approach her from now on? The thought of approaching her makes me cringe. How do I know she won't do the same thing again? If she is not asexual but we don't have sex, does that mean we are just friends? She tries to make me forget everything and continue as always. But it's been 3 weeks, and I can't shake the feeling that this is not right, that this is madness. Since then, I have been considering ending my supposedly perfect marriage. I am always thinking about the issue and going around in circles. Well, I'll finish because the story has become very long, even though I've omitted many details. Sorry for the outpouring and for explaining some things very quickly. It's difficult to seek help for similar cases because I understand that this is not something that typically or occasionally happens,